Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to talk with you about innovation. And innovation, let's go the right way. Yes, innovation is something that we love to talk about. You can see it in the newspapers, you see it on the internet, you see it in blogs. It's something that we love. It's about new things. It's about those things that may change our world. But the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, organizations don't have a clue how to organize for innovation. They're caught up in what I name a Catch22 of innovation. Now, a Catch22 is maybe a little bit difficult word. It's an English word and you can't translate it very well. The English use it for those situations that as an individual you're stuck in between contradictory rules. For example, you're 20 years old, you apply for a job and the first thing they ask is, do you have any relevant experience? No, of course not. I need a job to get relevant experience. No, then you can't get a job. Now that's a Catch-22. Now what is the Catch-22 of innovation? Just imagine that you have a brilliant idea. Any innovation starts with a brilliant idea. And you go out there and you go to a banker or an investor or to the management team or a board of directors, whatever. And you go there and you stand there and you do your pitch. Now what happens afterwards? They think, I think this is what happens. You know, I think this is really a brilliant idea. Yes, it is. But I'd just like to know a couple of things of you before we proceed. I'd like to know how much money will we make? How much will it cost? What will the competition do? How will the market develop? What kind of people do you need? How much time do you need? And on and on and on. Now the problem is, if you have a new idea, if you are truly innovative, there's no way you can ever answer these questions. It simply is impossible. You're caught up in a Catch-22. You have a great idea, but you can't start. Now, can we escape the Catch-22 of innovation? Yes, we can, ladies and gentlemen. That's the good news. That's something actually that I learned when I was doing my PhD at the Technical University in Delft. I was doing a study on multidisciplinary teams. Teams like we have at this company here in Venlo, OC, at the Research and Development Department. There, large teams work together and they're composed of people like who are chemists or physicists or mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, software engineers, and they all have to work together. And I wanted to know a couple of things about these teams. I wanted to know, for instance, how do they get their ideas actually? Where does innovation arise within these teams? And the other thing what I like to know is, how do they actually align their work and all their activities? Just imagine 100 people all working together on one thing and it has to be a seamlessly integrated whole. It's quite difficult. And the funny thing is, there are no books about it. So I started a research, and together with 2 professors and 6 other co-researchers, we analyzed things like this. We made a lot of movies on the floor of people working, and we analyzed these movies to find out what the essence is of innovation. And the funny thing is, I think many organizations can learn a lot from these teams. Now, I can, of course, talk about what I found and all the statistics and stuff like that, but that's a bit boring. I think you can all experience yourself what innovation is about. Together with my wife, Jackie van der Goor, she's here in the audience, we developed a special, very dedicated challenge so that every one of you can experience innovation. And it's named the Coffee Filter Challenge. And what I do, and you have actually a coffee filter in your bag, so you can do it at home around Christmas. It's great fun to do, together with your family and things like that. What I ask people is, this is not a coffee filter bag. I give you 15 minutes to come up with a brilliant idea. What is it? But, however, be sure that you team up. 4, 5, up to 8 people. Team up and come up with a brilliant idea. And I did it a lot of times. I think already with 350 people. They love to do it. It's really great fun to do. And they do all kinds of things. They mess it up, they clean it, they make toys out of it. And they come up with ideas ranging from, at one hand, it's a very nice isolation material for houses, all the way up to the other side, like this one. It's a Chinese puppet theater play for at the camping you can make yourself. So one of the personal things I was really amazed of by until today, not one team invented the same thing. So we all can be innovators and you can do it yourself. The key is, I'm not talking here about the results, I'm talking about the process. And I ask these teams 3 simple questions. And the first question is this one. Did anyone in the team knew in advance that they would make a Chinese puppet making theater? No. Oh, so you started off without any plan, without any idea, and you got this brilliant idea? Yeah? Okay. Second question I ask, who invented it? There's always someone in the team who says, well, I named it. Oh, so you named it. And why did you name it? Well, actually, I was responding to her. Oh, and why was she? Well, actually, she says, I was responding to someone else. So if you take a look, if you put the camera on the team who's doing the coffee filter challenge, you see something like this. Someone says something, someone responds, someone asks a question, someone responds, someone come up with a brilliant idea. Now, would have this idea been in the world without all these people and all these conversations before? No. So, ideas fundamentally arise in between us. It's not one mind, they arise in between us. Third question I ask, did you play with it? Oh yeah, we did all kinds of things. We tore it apart, we cut it in halves, we put it together, we assembled it, we put it on top of a bottle. Why is that so relevant? Because most of the ideas that I saw until today always are a result of people doing things, creating things, making a mess out of it. Then, oh, you know what? We can make something out of it. So it's not here, it's out there, doing things, making things, creating things. Now, if you take a view a bit from those teams away, this is the process that you actually see. Team is at position A, they have to say something like, we have to invent something for a coffee filter bag. Let's go that direction. We go to the direction of B. Then something happens. A surprise. Someone asks something, hey, it didn't come to mind. Then someone says, maybe we should do something else. And they go that direction. And then they say, hey, there's another surprise, another idea. Maybe we should go somewhere else. And again, and again, and again. So beforehand, no one knows what the outcome will be. In the end, they have something they're quite proud of. But they learn on the go, they learn while they create what they are inventing. No one knows it beforehand, but they learn on the go. That brought something to mind. It struck me that it resembles very much the way how architects work, how designers work, how creatives work, how artists work. They don't know exactly. When you ask an architect to design a house for you, he doesn't know exactly what he's going to make. He starts making sketches, shows it to you, shows it to another one, makes another sketch, shows it to you. He learns as he creates as well. So innovation in teams resembles very much the way how architects and designers work. I started to think, if it is so much like design thinking, what else can we learn if we take this lens of design thinking onto innovation? There are two things I'd like to share with you. The first one, designers, that's typical for designs. They always think in options. They don't think in problems. They don't think, who is to blame here that we have this problem? No, they think, how can we solve it? That's the way how they're trained. And why is that so relevant? This is the process I just showed you. If you have a surprise, a problem or whatever, then it's very nice if you have someone in the team who comes up with all these options. Oh, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that. And especially designers are trained for that. If you ask them to design a user interface, they don't come up with one idea, they come with 20 or 50 ideas. And why is that so relevant? Because if you have these options, you can make a choice which way to go. On the go, you can find a way. Not beforehand, on the go. And you need people who can do that. But designers not only show options, they visualize them very well. And why is that so relevant? Well, when everybody's talking about technology, and what it can do and what the problems are, designers make something very tangible like this. They show what the product could be, what the service could be. And the thing is, they make use of a language we all understand. It's a language of images, something we can refer to. It's not a difficult language. You don't have to study rocket science to understand these things. And that enables teams and companies and organizations to reflect on what is being made. And sometimes they can make very iconic kind of pictures, but be visual. That's the thing. Now, last time I take this wayfinding process, this is how it looks like. You started with something, you don't know where you're going to end up, you have a couple of surprises, And on those moments, you need people who think in options and can visualize them. Because how can we know what we want until we see what the options are? How can we know that we actually want to go that direction unless someone shows the options? Now, I'm going to give one example to make you feel yourself how important it is that you see an option. This is the Benthemplein in Rotterdam. It's named the Water Square. It's a very nice place. There are always people in there. There's a college next to it. They're playing panna soccer over there. They're listening to music. They're smoking cigarettes. There's always people hanging out there. Does anyone see something particular about this place? Because it's not just a place to hang out. It's a design thinker's solution for a problem we have here in Venlo as well. Rain floods. Actually, when it's raining a lot, all the water from the area is kept in there. But these designers, it's the urbanisten, they considered that if we have to build a tank for capturing the water, maybe we can make something out of it that we all love to use. Now, ask yourself the following question. Now you know this. Now you've seen this. What do you think? Is this something that you had in mind beforehand? Guess not. Is this something that you would say, maybe we should do something like that in Venlo as well? I hope some of you will say like that. How can we know what we want until we see what the options are? I started this talk with the Catch22, and I promise you can break it. I'm just going to drive home a couple of things what you can do tomorrow. In your own company, in your own personal life, it's not that difficult. And the first thing is, start. Don't try to think it all over. Don't make the plans and the visions and the budgets and stuff like that. Start. Start moving. Because you cannot know where you're going to end up with. Second thing is team up. Don't do it on your own. Talk, speak, make fun, make jokes, go out. Because that's where the ideas arise. Third, think in options, not in problems. Because there are so many problems we can think about. How do we solve that? Think in options. And learn on the go. Play, make things, and make it as tangible as possible. And the last thing, and that's the thing I hope you will take home from me, visualize. Make it as visual as you can. Thank you very much.